Hey guys, how's it going? Good morning from Ala Moana Beach Park, where we just had a fit camp workout. And I wanted to talk to you today about our food challenge that we're going to do all next week, that has to do with a 12-hour sort of a fast. I don't really like calling it a fast, but it sort of is a fast, and I'll explain more about that in a second. Um, so these food challenges, we've done some in the past and we've kind of gone away from them for a while, but I want to start doing them again. I do them really in a concerted effort with my clients here locally as well as online, but I wanted to extend it to all of you who are newsletter subscribers or anybody who wants to get involved, just to kind of encourage eating habits that are improved, especially for fat or weight loss, which is what most of us are interested in. And so what I wanted to also do is not do challenges that are too extreme or challenging in multiple different aspects, but just focus on one or two specific aspects in each challenge and have you work on those. As I was explaining it last night to some of my clients in one of my classes, I kind of likened it to a self-science experiment, if you will, where again we take one or two aspects of eating as it relates to nutrition and fitness and implement that for a short time, in this case a week, and see how it affects us and just kind of go from there. Sometimes if you try to change too many different things at once, it's really hard to see what the effects are of each individual change on you specifically. And that's really important, especially when it comes to not just the eating part of it, but the overall lifestyle part of it. Because after all, what we're trying to do is encourage and establish habits and patterns that can become part of your overall quote-unquote fitness lifestyle. So that's what we're trying to do, and that's the purpose of this. So this challenge, here's what the 12-hour challenge is. And I realize some of you might have been a little bit confused by that infographic that I posted. I apologize for that. It seemed clear to me when I put it up there, but then as I reread it, I saw that there's definitely some parts that could be misconstrued. So what this 12-hour challenge is we're going to take 12 hours, and I'll explain how to best go about this in a second, but from the time you stop eating at night and go 12 hours without eating till the next morning, which is more or less or pretty close to what most people do anyway, or that most people know they should be doing. But I want to really focus on the time aspect of it. And there's a couple of different side benefits, as is always the case when trying to make some changes, that you're going to see from this. Number one is we're trying to get at the aspect of weight loss, and one thing that derails a lot of people from achieving fat loss in shutting off your eating a certain amount of time before bed, preferably 2 to 3 hours. So let's say you go to bed at a normal time, which for most people is 10, 11 o'clock. So that would mean your eating should be shutting down by 7, 8 o'clock at the latest. And give yourself that 2 or 3 hour window to stop eating, which is something we're going to cover again, and I'll get to this a little bit more in a second, during the weekly check-in videos next week, the reasons for why you would shut that eating down. But hopefully most of you know by now that eating right before bed, for the most part with a few exceptions, is probably not a good idea if weight loss is your goal. Another aspect of this is to get good sleep. One thing that a lot of people overlook or just flat out don't understand is that if you want to be on a good fitness routine that gets results and gets you the weight loss you're looking for, and you're denying yourself of sleep, you're really screwing yourself up. Your body needs rest, number one, to recover from workouts, and number two, that rest is really important to the functioning of the hormones in your body, some of which play a huge role in metabolism of fat and carbohydrates and just all those bodybuilding processes. When I say bodybuilding, I don't mean the sport bodybuilding, but the building of your body, all those processes that go on while you sleep. So if you don't give yourself time to sleep, those processes really get hampered. So that's another purpose of this. The third purpose is the back end of the 12 hours. So obviously if you've gone to bed at 10, stop eating by 7 or 8, you're going 12 hours without eating. The other end of that is to make sure that you do eat when you wake up. I think also, again, most people know that it's a good idea to eat first thing in the morning, breakfast. I know a lot of people skip breakfast, and that's kind of become a habit and a trend in our society, but it's one that really shouldn't be if fitness is a priority, especially, again, weight loss. So The other side again of that is to make sure that you eat something after that 12-hour fast in the morning when you get up. So if you've gone to bed at 7 or 8, make sure by 7 or 8 when you wake up that you've also eaten something else. So it's a 12-hour challenge, yes, but there are some reasons for this, and those 3 reasons are the main ones that that I just explained are the main ones that I want you to consider, and that's sort of the science experiment on yourself that you're going to be paying attention to. So let me look at my note card here, make sure I don't miss anything. So I would suggest the best way to do this, if you don't already do it, is to set a schedule for yourself. I realize that's not possible for everyone. A lot of people, for example, who may work, for example, one of my clients who is a emergency room physician, he works 24-hour shifts. So this challenge is probably not going to be doable for him, but you can make some adjustments and modifications by just paying attention to the specific schedule of your eating and kind of get the same effects. But for those of you who have more or less a normal schedule, lifestyle, so to speak, set that schedule for yourself. Try to go to bed at the same time every night, which is another side benefit you're hopefully going to derive from this this challenge, and make your eating coincide with that going to bed and waking schedule that you have every day. Here's some ideas to kind of keep you on target during this next 7 days. And for us here on Oahu, we're going to start this challenge Sunday evening with the evening meal and going to bed Sunday night, and run it all the way through the following Sunday morning. So that's this Sunday, which is what, the 30th, I think, 31st, 30th of March, and then follow up, run it all the way through the following week. Couple of ideas to keep you going. Number one, again, there's going to be at least probably every other day some check-in videos through the week to keep you going and to further expound on some of these principles that we're talking about that have to do with the interaction between sleep, eating, and weight loss. Going to cover some of those in the topics that those will be topics I cover in the video. A couple other things that you can do to keep yourself going. Number one, if you can, post this, what we're doing, on Facebook, Instagram, whatever. You know, that would be helpful not only to gain some attention to the cause, but also to help you have more people on your side, so to speak, in helping you do this. Anybody who's had any sort of success knows that a support group, whether it be in person or online or whatever, even just in your head, really helps when you're trying to undertake a change. Another thing that I would highly suggest is to do some kind of journal to track it. Now, I don't mean necessarily a food journal. I'm talking more just a journal to record your feelings. And again, we talked about how this is a bit of a science experiment for yourself, to talk about, you know, how it feels. Maybe you find out you go to bed hungrier than you normally do because of this new change, and just, you know, record your feelings about this, even if it's like, hey, I hate this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Hopefully you don't hate it, but talk about your feelings, how you feel during the day, if this influences or changes your feelings of hunger or your energy levels during the day, doing this 12-hour schedule sort of a thing. So I really highly recommend doing that. If you want to share that again with other people, that accountability thing can be huge for a lot of people. If you want to share it with me, you can do that as well. You have my email address there on the screen. And just go for it. If you mess up a day, or miss a day, or you're just hearing about this late, that's okay. Just jump right back in when you can. Even a couple of days worth of doing this will hopefully give you some information and some feedback on how it affects you. And hopefully, you know, I've had some people ask, well, what's the prize? Well, the prize is hopefully you lose a few pounds this week and you learn something about yourself and establish a new habit. Should be prize enough, right? But anyway, that's the 12-hour challenge. Again, if you want to be a part of the, if you want access to the check-in videos, if somehow you're seeing this and you're not a subscriber to the newsletter, please make sure that you sign up for the newsletter. It's free. Your information is kept private always. I'm not going to try to sell you anybody else's products. Every once in a while I may give you offers to take advantages of things that I have that can benefit your fitness endeavors, but that's about it. And access to lots of good information. So I'll end there with that and look forward to hearing how this goes for you guys. I'm also about to, speaking of products, I just slipped this in there, about to do a R20 workout here on the sand, and really get after it. So if you haven't really checked that out yet, I highly encourage you to do that. It's a really powerful thing that you can add to your own fitness program that is really awesome at burning fat and boosting metabolism. So you got some information on the screen about that as well. Anyway, I'll see you guys soon. Have a good weekend, and aloha. Good luck next week.